Welcome back to the Empty Trailer. I'm Brian, and if you're new here, this show is for professional drivers, not recruiters, not carriers, drivers. Today, I want to talk about something that doesn't come up enough in this industry: the value of actually knowing someone. The best jobs in trucking, half the time you find out about them because somebody you worked with 3 years ago sends you a text, or your buddy at the truck stop mentions his carrier is hiring and the pay is real. That kind of inside information is worth more than any job board on the internet. That's what we're trying to be at Prime Standard Solutions. Not a faceless website, not an automated inbox. A real person who knows the industry and is in your corner. So let's talk about what that actually looks like. Here's something I think about a lot. Most drivers, especially guys who've been out there for a while, they've been burned before. You apply for a job, the recruiter sounds great on the phone, the pay is solid, the home time is real, the equipment is new. Then you show up for orientation and the story changes. The truck's got 300,000 miles on it. The home time is, quote, flexible, which apparently means you're home when they feel like it. And that pay rate, it looked good on paper until you find out about the deductions. Enough carriers operate that way that drivers have learned to be skeptical. And honestly, that skepticism is earned. The problem is when you're skeptical of everyone, it's hard to find the good opportunities. You end up staying somewhere you've outgrown because at least you know what you're up against there. That's the gap we fill. We've done the homework on these carriers. We know which ones actually deliver on what they promise. And when we send a driver to a carrier, we're putting our name on it. It matters to us. So what does it actually look like to have a friend in the industry? A friend doesn't just hand you a job listing. They tell you what the job is actually like. The things that don't show up in the description. I'm not going to pretend we know every detail about every carrier we work with. We don't. But we vet our partners carefully. We only work with carriers who are FMCSA compliant, safety first, and have a track record of treating drivers right. If a carrier has a pattern of not delivering on their promises, we stop sending drivers there. It's that simple. A friend also doesn't disappear after you get hired. One of the things I'm most proud of at Prime Standard is our 24/7 driver support. If you're 3 weeks into a new position and something doesn't feel right, you call us. We're not going to tell you to figure it out. We're going to listen and we're going to help. And maybe most importantly, a friend doesn't charge you for their help. Our service is free, completely free for drivers. Always has been and it always will be. We get paid by the carriers when we make a successful placement. So our incentive is to make sure you're genuinely happy in that seat. Because if you're not, that placement doesn't stick, and that's on us. Here's something that gets lost in the recruiting world: the human side of this. Driving is not just a job, it's a lifestyle. It affects your sleep, your health, your relationships, everything. When a driver finds the right seat, it changes things. I've seen it. When you come to us, we're not just looking at your CDL and your MBR. We're asking you questions. What does your ideal week look like? Do you want to be home every night? Or are you okay being out for a stretch? What's your preference on equipment? A lot of recruiting services skip those questions because they're trying to fill seats fast. We're trying to fill the right seat for you. And if the first match isn't perfect, we don't consider the relationship over. We go back to the drawing board. That's what a friend does. I want to be clear about who Prime Standard Solutions is built for, because we're not for everybody, and I'd rather be upfront about that than waste your time. We work best with experienced Class A CDL drivers who know what they want and are ready to make a move. At least a year of verifiable experience, a clean MVR, and a serious interest in finding a better situation. That's the sweet spot. We also work with recent CDL grads looking for their first company position, and we have options for drivers in SAP return to duty programs. We don't turn people away just because their situation is complicated. We've seen complicated. We do complicated. What we're not is a magic wand. If you've got a serious safety record, we're going to have an honest conversation about what's realistic. That's what a friend does too. But if you're a solid driver who's just tired of the guesswork, tired of not knowing if the next job is going to be better than the one or worse than the last one, that's exactly who we built this thing for. All right, that's going to do it for episode 2 of The Empty Trailer. I hope this gave you a better sense of who we are and why we do things the way we do. We're not the biggest name in trucking. We're not trying to be. We're trying to be the most useful, the most trustworthy resource a driver can have when it's time to make a move. If that sounds like something you need right now, I'd love to talk. You can reach us directly at 407 792 4178. That's 407 792 4178. Or head over to our website and submit your application. It takes about 5 minutes. Everything you share with us stays confidential. And if you're not ready to make a move yet, that's okay too. Keep listening. We'll be here. Hey, y'all, stay safe out there, keep the rubber side down, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Empty Trailer.